Welcome to NTN Vlog. Today, we're diving into some of the greatest mysteries in history, stories that have puzzled and fascinated humanity for centuries. From lost ancient civilizations and unexplained supernatural phenomena to unsolved cases that still baffle investigators, our world is full of strange and enigmatic events. Let's turn the pages of history together and see if we can uncover any clues to solve these enduring mysteries. The Great Unsolved Mysteries of Human History. 1. Rongorongo Manuscript, considered another mystery of Easter Island. Rongorongo is the name of the hieroglyphic manuscript written by the island's first inhabitants. Rongorongo mysteriously appeared in the 1700s, while the inhabitants of neighboring islands did not yet have a written language. This language has long since disappeared, making deciphering the manuscript hopeless. European colonists banned this language because of the pagan origins of the islanders. 2. How did the city of Helic disappear? The Greek writer Pausanias described the scene of a terrible earthquake that destroyed the city of Helic in one night, followed by a terrible tsunami that submerged all that remained of the once prosperous capital. The capital of the Achaean League was the center of worship of the sea god Poseidon. Apart from ancient Greek texts, there was no evidence that the city had ever existed until an archaeologist discovered a Helike coin bearing the head of Poseidon. In 2001, two archaeologists located the city of Helic under a layer of mud and gravel. Excavations are underway, and scientists hope to learn more about the rise and fall of the city, which some consider the fabled Atlantis. 3. Bog mummies. Hundreds of mummies, mostly from the Iron Age, have been discovered in the bogs of northern Europe. Many of the well-preserved mummies are up to 2,000 years old and bear signs of torture and violence. These gruesome marks have led scientists to theorize that they were victims of an ancient ritual. 4. The fall of the Minoan Empire. While historians are discovering more and more about the reasons for the fall of the Roman Empire, mystery still surrounds the disappearance of the Minoan Empire. About 3,500 years ago, an earthquake on the island of Thera wiped out all life on the island of Crete, where the story of a king and the monster that ate him originated. Clay tablets discovered by archaeologists suggest that the empire survived for about 50 years before disappearing completely. Theories about the collapse include a layer of volcanic ash causing crop failures, or that they were taken over by the Greeks. 5. The Karnak columns. Stonehenge in England remains a mystery to scientists, but the Karnak columns on the Brittany coast in northeastern France are perhaps even more intriguing. More than 3,000 megalithic pillars are arranged in a perfect line stretching over 12 kilometers. Local legend has it that the pillars were a Roman legion petrified by the magician Merlin. A scientist who has studied the structure for more than 30 years has theorized that the pillars were a tool to predict earthquakes. The identity of the Neolithic people who built the structure remains a mystery. 6. Who was Robin Hood? Historians continue to search for the legendary Robin Hood, a knight of the forest who robbed from the rich to give to the poor, and the list of suspects has been long. They include a Yorkshire fugitive named Robert Hod, Hobahod, and a Robert Hood of Wakefield. Weeding out the names becomes more complicated because Robin Hood means outlaw, as in the case of William Lefevre, who later changed his surname to Robahod, according to court records. The search for this legendary figure became more difficult as later storytellers added more characters to the story, such as Prince John and Richard the Bold. 7. The Lost Roman Legion. After a poorly trained Roman army led by General Crassus was defeated by the Parthians, it is believed that a small group of prisoners of war wandered through the desert and eventually joined the army 17 years later. The first-century Chinese historian Ban Gu recorded a confrontation with a strange army that fought in a fish-scale formation, a characteristic of the Roman army. An Oxford University historian compared ancient documents and suggested that the remnants of the Roman army built a small town called Lycian near the Gobi Desert, the Chinese spelling of Roman. Scientists are conducting DNA tests to prove this hypothesis and to explain some of the characteristics of their descendants today: green eyes, blonde hair, and a penchant for bullfighting. 8. Voynich Manuscript. The Voynich manuscript is perhaps the most difficult book in the world to read. This 500-year-old relic was discovered in 1912 in a library in Rome and consists of 240 pages of completely unfamiliar writing and illustrations. Cryptographers have tried to decipher the strange writing, but no one has succeeded. Some even thought it was a hoax by the ancients. However, analysis of the book has shown that the manuscript appears to follow the structures and rules of a real language. 9. The Mummies of Lake Tarim. In an excavation beneath the Tarim Basin in western China, archaeologists discovered more than 100 mummies that were more than 2,000 years old. Victor Mayer, a university professor, was so surprised when he came across the blonde-haired, long-nosed mummies in a museum exhibit that he returned in 1993 to collect DNA samples. DNA testing reinforced his hypothesis that the mummies were genetically European. Ancient Chinese texts from the 1st century BC mention groups of white settlers called Bai, Yoji, and Tocharians. However, there is no explanation for why these people appeared here. 10. The disappearance of the Indus Valley Civilization. The Indus Valley Civilization stretched from western India to Afghanistan and had a population of up to 5 million people. It was the oldest known civilization in India. It was not until 1922 that John Marshall excavated the city and discovered an extremely hygienic culture. There was an extremely complex drainage system and perfectly designed silkworm baths. Strangely, there is no archaeological evidence of the existence of armies, kings, slaves, social conflicts, or the common evils of ancient times. 11. The Christmas Star of Bethlehem. For Christians, the appearance of the Star of Bethlehem, the Christmas star, is a religious event that needs no explanation. For nearly 2,000 years, the brightest star has remained a mystery. For scientists and non-Christians alike, many questions surrounding this star still need to be answered. Since ancient times, the appearance of the Star of Bethlehem has attracted the attention of researchers in the fields of astronomy, history, and archaeology. The great German astronomer Johannes Kepler believed that this star was the combination of two planets to form a new star. Modern scholars believe that it was an unidentified flying object. However, the scientific basis so far is not convincing enough. Therefore, the Star of Bethlehem remains a mystery. And that wraps up our journey through some of the greatest mysteries in history. What do you think about these stories? Could we uncover the truth someday? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button to support us, and be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you won't miss our future content. Your likes, comments, and shares are a huge motivation for us to continue bringing you more fascinating mysteries. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.